Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We are going to get started with our first official presentation of the day. So I'm going to pass it over to Rehan to get us started.
Good morning, good evening, depending on where you are. So my name is Handson Design, a professor of civil engineering and the executive associate dean of School of Engineering. I would like to respectfully acknowledge the land that UBC has built, its Okanagan campus on which we learn, connect, and innovate is the unceded territory of Salix Okanagan peoples. My family and I are honored to call the Okanagan Valley our home. I'm often asked, what is engineering? It seems like such a simple question, but the definition of what it means to be an engineer continues to evolve. At its core, engineering is the process of using science and maths to solve problems. The discipline and the profession is perfect for people who look at a challenge and ask the question, why? And how can I make it better? Today, while you participate in our open house, I invite you to ask questions, explore our engineering programs, and learn more about our community. UBC Engineering offers a caring community that emphasizes inclusivity and respect for all. That is often evident in the resources and supports that our students receive, whether in the classroom, in the lab, or elsewhere on the campus. What you will discover is that our community, campuses, and our engineering programs are just the start of what can truly be a unique post-secondary experience for you. I also want to mention one more thing about engineering. Today, engineers are no longer strictly bound to their discipline. A civil engineer, like me, often works across discipline, including material engineering, manufacturing, mechanical, electrical, and many other disciplines, while collaborating with other engineers with different backgrounds and expertise. That variety is one of the most exciting parts of being an engineer. Ultimately, all engineers want to be change makers. We want to make the world a better place for our families, our communities, our countries, and for humanity at large. As an undergraduate or graduate student, you can participate with world-class researchers as they seek solutions in the areas of clean water, sustainable infrastructure, advanced technologies, and clean energy, just to name a few. As engineers, we don't always build things. We can improve things, develop and analyze ideas, and use our imagination and creativity to develop new and more efficient ways of addressing life's challenges. And in the end, that allows us to make a difference. For me, I grew up in Pakistan, a land of Indus Valley, which is where water systems have been designed for nearly 5,000 years. Remarkably, today, many people in Pakistan and countries like Pakistan, and even in some parts of Canada, do not have access to the healthy and safe drinking water. One of the biggest reasons that I went into engineering and continue to be passionate about my research is an effort to try and improve water access for all. And all of you will find your own passion through engineering. I hope through our open house, you uncover something that inspires you. At this point, I would like to introduce to my two colleagues, Dr. Amanda Jian and Dr. Naomi Zimmerman, who are both assistant professors with mechanical engineering at the Vancouver campus. They will even share even more about why engineering degree is an excellent career choice to pursue. Thank you very much and have a good day.
All right, thank you so much, Rehan. So speaking of multidisciplinary perspectives in engineering, Amanda and I are going to show you a little bit about our own research and then tell you what we think makes UBC engineering super exciting. So I run the iReach lab, which is integrated research in energy, air, climate, and health. The iReach lab does experimental measurements in a real-world context. We have no formal laboratories since all our experiments happen in the community, which is really cool. We're primarily interested in how policies or technologies affect the air we breathe and understanding any co-benefits or trade-offs on climate or health, which might influence decisions we want to make. We've looked at lots of different areas, such as energy access in India. That's a picture of me and one of my graduate students outside the Taj Mahal just before the pandemic. Traffic-related air pollution, wildfire smoke infiltration into buildings, and odors and their link to air quality using tools like integrated sensor networks and mobile monitoring. The things that I really love about my research in UBC engineering is taking our instrumentation to cool places. So like I said, just before the pandemic, we did this field campaign in northern India. It was such a powerful experience. And we've also taken monitors all over the Metro Vancouver region. We have some pictured there near a roadway where we're getting some estimates of traffic-related pollution. I also love coding and working with the data sets. You can probably imagine that collecting real-time data out in the community results in these really messy and complicated data sets. And I've really learned to love, and I think my graduate students and undergrads who've worked with me have really learned to love using data analysis to tell a story. And lastly, as part of the work we do in UBC engineering, I really love engaging with the community. So right now we have some air quality sensors up at the UBC campus that you can actually chat with via text message. It's been really fun and really informative and helps us learn how to design our research better. It's just a really creative space to be in right now. I also love collaborating with students and other faculty members and seeing those sort of aha moments in action. And one of my frequent collaborators is Professor Amanda Jang, who's going to share about some of her research now.
Thanks so much, Naomi. So absolutely, one of the things I also enjoy the most about UBC engineering is that I get to collaborate with folks like Professor Naomi Zimmerman and apply our engineering skill set to some of the most pressing problems that we're facing in the 21st century. So I lead the Lab for Environmental Assessment and Policy, where we explore environmental and energy policy questions that really require a deep understanding of technology, combined with an understanding of environmental, social, and economic impacts. So one of the questions we're working on now is, how do we quickly decarbonize our energy and transport systems, including things like shipping and trucking, in ways that are technically feasible, but which also enhance equity, community health, and well-being at the same time. So right now we're investigating how to make the benefits of low carbon transport more accessible to low-income households, for instance. So to do this, we integrate engineering tools like mathematical modeling and data science with other policy analysis approaches. So again, another example of that kind of interdisciplinary collaboration that Rehan mentioned. Some of the things I love about my research are that I get to apply this kind of engineering design thinking to policy problems and collaborate with students, policymakers, communities, and industry to really try to imagine what are the kinds of sustainable, healthy, and just futures that we really want to live in and try to make those futures a reality. It's been such an amazing opportunity for me to work with UBC engineering students who are so creative and passionate about making that kind of impact. And so that leads me on to the next part of the presentation. You're probably curious about what kinds of things UBC engineering students have done. So one of the ways that our students find their passion is by joining a design team where they can design and create projects outside of the classroom. So on the slide, we're showing Third Quadrant Design, who for the third year in a row won first place at the US Department of Energy Solar Decathlon held this past April. And they beat entries from Harvard University and the University of California, Berkeley. So the Solar Decathlon is an international collegiate competition. It challenges teams to design and build sustainable, efficient, and innovative buildings that are powered by renewable energy. So in this year's competition, Third Quadrant Design developed a greener model of a historic laundry facility in Vancouver called Laundry House. The team really wants to continue to push the boundaries of transdisciplinary design and innovative low-carbon project delivery through an exploratory style of consulting on real-life builds right here in the Lower Mainland. And they're already preparing for next year's competition. Thank you. In addition to Third Quadrant Design, there are over 30 design teams at the Vancouver campus that allow students to gain hands-on engineering experience outside of the classroom. It doesn't matter what engineering program you're in or which UBC campus you decide to attend, there are absolutely going to be teams for you. And so here are some examples from chemical and biomedical teams, automotive teams, civil and materials teams, robotics, watercraft, sustainability, and computer teams, which you'll have the opportunity to learn more about later today. Next slide, please. At the Okanagan campus, there are many student teams and clubs that allow you to gain that hands-on experience outside of the classroom as well. And these are also great opportunities to expand your network, just like they are at the Vancouver campus. Next slide, please.
All right, so thanks so much for sharing about design teams and about your cool research. I always love hearing Amanda talk about the work she does because I think it's super amazing. So in addition to all the opportunities available to you as a student, I just also want to emphasize that in the long run, engineering really sets you up for success in your career. So engineering provides a solid foundation in problem solving, analysis, and the application of knowledge. no matter what you want to do in your future, you're going to have a fabulous foundation to continue in engineering or even whatever else you're interested in. Lifelong learning is one of the graduate attributes that all students gain. And I actually find myself reflecting on this often, how engineers are regularly improving the world around us. And so to do so, they need to be resourceful, continue seeking creative solutions, and applying that knowledge to solve new problems. And with a solid foundation, engineering can also open doors to graduate studies, law, medicine, and even more. Our students, alumni, and professors are continuing to showcase the impact they can make on the world through their research and actions, like providing clean water solutions to Indigenous populations in Canada that have been under boil water advisories for an entire generation, reducing food insecurity, making an impact on pollution and air quality, preventing and treating concussions, creating new medical devices, and so much more. We really don't even have enough time to go through all the different things that you can have an impact on. Engineering is also a very well-paying career. So a new study by Statistics Canada published in 2020 showed that when comparing bachelor degrees in Canada, most top-earning graduates come from engineering disciplines. When adjusted for age, institution, and graduation year, the median earnings for engineering degrees in the top 30 highest-paying careers were between $70,000 and $120,000 for both men and women. And out of the top 10, engineering accounts for 7 of the top-paying jobs for women. On that note, I do want to say that UBC Engineering is working to reach gender parity in our engineering programs. We make a lot of effort in this space by running recruitment and outreach efforts to expose more girls and young women to the field of engineering through programs like Gearing Up, our engineering stories and videos on Instagram, and through recruitment events to get more of the fabulous women out there to apply. And increasing underrepresented populations in engineering makes our teams more diverse. And those more diverse teams are stronger, and they mean our students are able to better solve problems that work for the entire population and not just a fraction of it.
Sorry, a little technical. All right. So there are so many opportunities that are awaiting you at UBC to grow professionally and personally. And these opportunities can really help you figure out what your interests are, and also to help you equip yourself with the skills that you'll need to excel in your future career and your life. We've had many alumni use engineering as the foundation for their careers, like Bowen Ma, who is the member of legislature for North Vancouver Lonsdale. But also lots of alumni who have gone on to work at some of the biggest companies like Tesla, Google, Apple, and so many more. Next slide, please. So one of the ways to help you do that kind of exploration is through hands-on design. So from the very start of your program, you'll be exposed to hands-on design projects where you work with other teams of first-year students. You'll continue to have courses year after year that continue to build on those project-based team learning experiences, which culminate in your final year with your capstone design project, where you and your peers work with industry partners to solve real-life problems. And some capstone projects have actually become startups or have allowed students to secure jobs upon graduation. For me personally, seeing the end-of-year capstone design showcases is one of the most exciting parts of the academic year for me. Next slide, please. So at UBC, you also get the opportunity to explore your interests. So in addition to engineering, you might consider a minor or dual degree, which allows you to explore a second area of study in addition to engineering. To explore different career options, you can try the co-op program, which offers up to 20 months of paid work experience as part of your degree. You can also explore living and working in another country through Go Global and coordinated international experience programs. And school is a great way to explore your interests, but it's also an important place to find community. And we really need to appreciate the power of community. By learning about the experiences of your peers, instructors, and UBC staff, you may be able to learn about an interest or a career path that you never knew about. So we already mentioned our design teams, but there are also lots of clubs to get involved with. So whether you want to join something related to engineering or something completely different, there are hundreds of options at UBC. We also have the engineering undergraduate societies in Vancouver and Okanagan, and then also more specific programs for members of the LGBTQ+ community, women, Black, Indigenous, and Chinese students, and many others.
So why engineering? Well, I think we've hopefully summed it up that if you want to make a positive impact in our world, either by responding to a global crisis, impacting climate change, and making our world more sustainable, or by designing technology to help people, engineering is the degree that will let you do that and so much more. So now that we've discussed why engineering may be a great career fit for you, we encourage you to attend the upcoming session. So there's going to be a session on engineering admissions where the UBC admissions team will provide some information on how you should prepare for a degree in engineering at UBC. We have an experiential learning session where you can learn more about all the cool hands-on experience that you could get at UBC Engineering and broaden your horizons throughout your degree. And there's also going to be a student experience panel where you can learn about the experiences of current students and much more. So with all that being said, I think we have like 5 minutes maybe if we do want to have a little bit of Q&A, and otherwise we'll see you at 11:30. I'll also make a note, since I'm sharing the presentation, I can't actually see any of the Q&A, so if someone has a question, like maybe Amanda can field them, and if there's one for me, I can
I can jump in and help with that. There's some questions that have definitely been asked. And sorry, I do want to apologize. I put the wrong time on this slide. The admissions presentation is actually coming up next right after this. It'll go from 10:50 to 11:30. So my apologies for this slide. So there are a couple questions that have come up. And if you see a question on the Q&A tab that you think looks interesting, you can like it and it'll actually let us upvote those in the Q&A. But we have a couple minutes to answer some more questions. So there have been some questions focused on admissions. That's coming up next, so I won't answer any of those right now. But there was a question I just saw. In your opinion, what is the most important skill for a future engineer to develop?
Amanda, should we both answer this one?
Yeah, and hopefully Rehan can weigh in as well.
Oh yeah, I can't tell if Rehan's, yes, we can all answer. I can't see anything, all I can see is the slide. I'll go first just because I can't see if anyone else is talking. For me, I think most important skill, honestly, like the technical stuff and the foundation is so important, but honestly, like engineering really trains your brain. There's a lot going on. It's exciting and kind of intense in a good way, and you really learn like how to be creative and resourceful and connect dots, and just like think of solutions like a lot faster than a lot of people that you might happen to encounter. Like engineers get stuff done. They can get it done fast and get really interesting creative ways. And to me, that's been like the most valuable skill I think that I've developed through having an engineering education.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like that systematic and rigorous curiosity is a big part of engineering for me. That desire to, ask why and how, and to think critically, about everything around you, I think is a huge part of the what makes a successful engineer.
Yeah, I will add to Amanda's and Naomi's response to this question. Engineering is science in action. So if you have this mindset, it will train you in the classroom through different experiences, experiential experiences, co-curricular activities, to make you ready how to apply the fundamentals of science and make it something useful out of it. You become a problem solver. But as a single skill in my mind, in stage in my career I am now, I feel that it can make you a leader. It can help you to think very complex problems and help you to organize those complex problems in orderly fashion. So I know it's a long way to go for all of you young people, but this is how we train our students in the classrooms and also beyond classrooms. So I would say, it's a profession of present and profession of future. So engineering has evolved a lot over last 30, 40 years. And just look around yourself, every single thing you see is touched by engineers. So it's a great profession to pursue, and it will give you tools and techniques to address the challenges of the world.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I think we maybe have time for maybe one more question. So there's one question that got a lot of likes, and maybe this is something that one of you could quickly touch on, but there's some questions about what is the kind of day-to-day experience of an engineer? Is there a great way that you can recommend checking that out? I will give a quick suggestion first. So that bottom link on your screen that has youtube.com/engineering stories, we have a great feature from last year on there called Behind the Career. And so we interview recent grads who are working as current engineers from every different program that we offer at UBC. And they give a breakdown of what they do in their day, talk about the projects they're working on and things like that. So that's a great introduction to just sit down and watch some YouTube videos about that. But if students are looking to learn a little bit more about what it's like to actually work as an engineer, does anyone have any recommendations of what they should check out?
I can't see if anyone else is talking. I'll just say, yeah, I think the engineering stories is a great recommendation. I also think, leverage speaking to the student panel later today, because those will be people who, a lot of them have been in co-op programs and who've been more recently in the workplace. I know for myself and Amanda, we mostly work with graduate students, and I'd be happy to talk about what it's like to be, engineering and at the sort of academia interface. But I would say, engage with the students who are going to be in the panel who've been in workplaces recently, and they'll probably give you the most insightful answers.
I feel like we're just all worried about talking over each other. I'll just add, I think the great thing about the panels and the engineering stories is that it reminds us that there's not a singular engineering story. I think everything that we've talked about in this presentation really highlights the ways in which engineering skills and engineering careers can look so different and be such a wide variety of things. So I just really encourage you to get a lot of different perspectives because yes, there's not just one version of what the day in the life of an engineer looks like.
Awesome, thank you. And Rayhan, maybe one last question for you, if you can answer this one. So as a professor, what do you notice are some common pitfalls of first-year students, and how can first-year students overcome them?
Yeah, so engineering is definitely, when you come to an engineering program, you will realize that it's a big transition from high school to a university. And engineering is one of those disciplines which requires a lot of hard work, and generally, then actually the environment is very different. I think it's not just the engineering profession itself. From transition from high school to university environment is different. But one important thing is just make sure that when you come to classroom, because you will have a lot of workload in the first year, I would say that stay on top of it. And most of the time, because semesters are too short, and if you are not regularly studying and not doing your assignment on regular basis, it start accumulating and it start impacting your performance. So important thing is that starting from September, when this group will come, you just from the day one, don't wait, don't procrastinate, and start responding to any assignment you get it. Just make sure that you do it on time. And also one other suggestion I will give you, that always make your study groups. I personally find it's very, very helpful when you make study groups, and then you can learn from the peers as well, because it's again going back to the transition, because here you kind of build your strength through, and you learn from your peers as well. And don't be shy of asking questions to your professors. And I can tell you, UBC have a very interesting place, though we are a very big university, but we have open door policy for all the professors. Don't be shy, go and knock the door of your professors, ask TAs, and making sure you get the necessary help. So there is no silver bullet here, but the important thing is that make sure you stay on top of everything what you get on regular basis.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. We are going to end this broadcast, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes with the admissions presentation up next. I know a lot of you watching have lots of questions about admissions, so we're looking forward to answer those. But thank you so much to Rayhan, Naomi, and Amanda. We really appreciate your presentation today and explaining all of the amazing things that engineering has to offer students and why it's so much more, and they can be creative and they can make a difference and make an impact on our world. So it was really amazing to hear. Thank you all for sharing that. And we are going to be back broadcasting in just a couple of minutes to bring you more about admissions.